Good day everyone, this is Dr. Cortez, your business doctor, and we will have another lesson for today. We're going to talk about buyer decision process, also under marketing management. And I hope that you will learn from this lesson. So what we're going to do now is to sit back, you listen, and you participate, and hoping that you will get some inputs from this lesson. Okay, so specifically the title of our lesson for today is the buyer decision process. Yung mga nagbebenta dyan, or those people who are selling something, providing service, or small scale businessmen, medium size, I hope that you will get something from this lesson. Okay, so our course topic for today, we're going to cover the following for this week: the buyer decision process. For new products, consumer, we're going to talk about consumer market, business market, similarities between consumer and business markets, and psychology marketing. So those 6 topics are to be covered. So I hope that we can get this one within an hour of talking or lesson. And my objectives for this lesson are the following. After this topic, students should understand the buyer decision making process, list down the products under consumer and business market. Ano yung products na binibenta sa consumer and business market daw. And we should be able to differentiate consumer market from business market. And we're also going to talk about psychology in marketing and discuss the different psychology marketing technique na pwede nating gamitin. Example, psychology pricing. So those are the things that we're going to cover for this lesson. And we will start with this one, the buyer decision making process. Very important, we should know yung ginagawa ng mga consumers natin before they buy a product. We are not just selling something to them. Dapat maintindihan natin to. Yung proseso ng kanilang pagbili ng products and services. Firstly, we have 5 boxes here. Unang gagawin natin, dapat nating maintindihan, malaman na consumers have need recognition. Meron muna silang need bago sila bumili. Although may mga products na minsan hindi nila masyadong kailangan, they don't need those product right away, pero binibili nila. So pag sinabi nating need, it could be immediate need or tinatawag nating mga staple needs, talagang kailangan nila every day. May mga needs na impulse na pag nakita nila na natakam sila, so meron silang need to what they call this, to those cravings, di ba? Sometimes we say that we should satisfy our cravings. So meron kong need, you're craving for something. Example, ice cream, fishball. Nagdadaan sa kalye, no? Nakita mo sila. Hindi sila staple, you don't need them every day, but impulse. So pag you're selling, you should know the needs of your consumers. Anong kailangan nila. Okay, then after this one, the second box is we have the information search. Ibig sabihin, your consumers, guys, no? Or we as consumers, if we know that we have needs, next thing to be done is we should search for info to satisfy those needs. What are those info na kailangan natin para sa ating need? Example, you need a school, you need a university for your college education. naghahanap ka. You browse around the internet, you have leaflets, you have flyers given to you. Yun mga info, no? Or for example, you need physiological needs, food. Okay? Di ba pag bibili ka ng bigas, you need rice, staple needs. Tapos hindi ka basta-basta bumibili. Tinatanong mo saan yung mura. Right? Kasi pag may nakita kang price, sometimes you don't buy right away kasi naghahanap ka pa ng baka may mas mura pa sa 1,200 per sack ng magkano bang rice. Anyway, ganun, no? Okay. So, pag service din, ganun din, right? You need something to do your haircut, someone to do your makeup. So, naghanap ka ng info. Okay? Pag kailangan mo yan, you don't buy right away. Pag sinabing info, naghanap pa ng alternative, naghanap pa ng magbibilihan, naghanap pa ng prices. Murang price. No? You shop around. Those are information search. You can do that in the internet. You can go shopping at SM malls or any malls, no, in the country. Yun, okay? Now, after you have gathered all the info, the prices, the features, the colors, saan pwedeng bilhin, next thing to be done, you evaluate yung mga naipon mo ng mga alternatives. Example, 5 prices, naipon mo siya, so evaluate. Or 5 colors, or 5 features, or 5 universities na pinuntahan mo, or na-search mo sa internet, then you evaluate. Diba, students, you as a students, baka may mga estudyante dito, no? Sometimes, after you have gathered the universities or schools na napuntahan mo, evaluate them based on tuition fee, prices, yung courses offered, diba? Or pag chocolate naman binili mo, sometimes sa price din, sometimes on the taste of the choco. Okay? Or pag summertime, you will go to some vacation spot, resorts, diba? Sometimes you evaluate yung mga mga amenities, no? Ano yung meron sa isang resort na yon? Example, water park. May safari ba? Ang food ba ay what do you call this? Buffet ang food? Okay? Maganda ba yung ambience? Natural ba yung environment ng resort na pupuntahan mo? Okay? Or you're using your laptop now. You're using your cell phones. You're using your tablets now. Diba? Sa dami ng mga tablets na or cellphones or laptops, hindi ka basta-basta bumibili. I-evaluate them on, or sometimes, diba, you will buy a laptop, tinatanong mo, ilang specs, ilan yung memory ng laptop. Right? O pag sa cellphone naman, anong tinatanong natin? O pag sa cellphone, yung brand, ano ba yung price, yung memory, yung screen size, yung color, right? And yung mga new features, kasi you're buying a cellphone pag may bagong features, no? So yun ang mga alternative. Okay, after evaluating all the alternatives, no? Next thing to be done, bibili ka na. Purchase decision, napili mo yung isang university, napili mo yung isang chocolate, napili mo yung isang cellphone or tablets or jeans or t-shirts. You will now buy. Purchase decision. Right? Now, pag salesman ka, you stop on the purchase. Ibig sabihin, pag nagbebenta ka lang ang salesman, no? Pag nabentahan mo, sometimes tapos ka na dun, no? Kasi pera lang, sale. But you don't stop with the purchase decision. Pero pang sunod, hindi lahat na nagtatapos sa pagbili o nabentahan mo siya. You should understand this one. Pag nakabili na sila, you don't stop there. Meron pang kasunod, the post-purchase behavior. Itong bumili. Okay? May feedback. Okay? Nasihan ba siya? So you should consult them. You should ask them, ma'am, kamusta po yung nabili niyong cellphone or damit or jeans itong nakarang linggo? Is it okay? Pag hindi po okay, let me know so that we can do remedy para maayos, or kung meron mang sira na nabili nyo, let me know para ma-remedyohan yan. Okay? Yan ang marketing. That is marketing professional. You don't stop with the purchase. You don't stop with just selling an item or a product or service dun sa bumili. At merong feedback. You should have the after-sale service. Dapat mong malaman yung behavior ng tao. Okay? You are not just selling. You should know the reason why they are selling. Nagustuhan ba nila yan? Feedback are very important in marketing. Okay? Feedback is, it can give you opportunity for improvement pag humingi ka ng feedback dun sa nabilhan mo, no? Or nabentahan mo. Okay, so the takeaway from this one, if you're the marketer or the businessman, you should understand the 5 boxes. Process. Example, you don't just sell. Hindi lang purchase ang ginagawa nila. Okay? Meron silang nauna pang tatlong process before they buy, before they purchase. So you should understand those things. Okay? You're just not selling. You should know, you should recognize the needs of your consumers. Anong kailangan nila? Okay? Hindi ka nagbebenta na hindi na kailangan. So, that's why you should have, there's a need recognition na dapat nating malaman. Okay? At siyempre, they are weighing the alternatives before they make the purchase decision. So, I hope that these boxes should be a good input for students like you, or later on you will become businessmen. You should understand this one. Okay, and the next slide, it will talk about another way of looking at the purchase behavior of the consumers. Ito yung kanilang behavior na mga bumibili sa atin. If you are selling something to them, take note that meron tayo ditong in proper order, awareness muna. That is a red one. In red box is awareness. We should not skip into evaluation or trial or adoption. It means that yung mga consumers later on, they don't adopt right away a product na gusto nila. They don't evaluate right away a product na gusto nila. Okay? Meron silang unang ginagawa. Or meron silang unang dapat gawin. Right? And that is awareness. Okay? Buyers should be aware first of a product or a service. Dapat nilang malaman na meron palang ganito. So as a seller, as a businessman, dapat mo ipaalam sa kanila na meron palang product na binibenta ikaw na ganito. Kasi you cannot develop interest among your customers pag hindi sila aware na merong product na ganun. Right? So dapat ipakilala mo muna. You introduce. Kasi sa ating product life cycle, meron tayong introduction. Pinapakilala yung product pag hindi pa masyadong kilala. Right? The first thing to be done is consumers should be aware that there are new products in the market. Isang bagong product, isang bagong alternative. Awareness. That's very important. That is a red one. That is a red box. Right? Then pag aware na sila, take note, pag alam nila mayroong product pang bago, they should now develop interest. Dapat interesado na sila. There should be interest among the consumers. Okay? Kasi hindi pwedeng mag-evaluate ka agad. Interest muna. Interesado muna sila. Kasi pag aware sila, aware lang sila. Alam nilang mayroong ganung product. But not necessarily may interest ka agad. So after awareness, you should develop interest among them. Dapat may interest ang papakita. Dapat sila interesado sa product na binibenta mo. After they are now aware. Okay? So, sales pitching, promotional campaign about that product. Okay? Kasi alam nila ngayong araw, pero kinabukasan din na sila interesado pag wala kang follow-up. Okay? So, dapat meron sa interest. Now, if they are now interested sa product na yan, evaluation naman. They will evaluate. Kasi sabi natin kanina, bago bumili ang isang consumer, evaluation muna ng mga alternatives. Hindi porke nakita na yung product mo at interesado sila, it doesn't mean na bibili ka agad sila. Kasi marami silang pinagpipilian. Take note of that. Evaluation of alternatives. Marami silang pinagpapilian. Marami silang product na interesado sila. So they should evaluate yung mga products na yon. Evaluation of alternatives. O parang sa isang university, di ba? May nalaman kang school na ganito. Dati hindi mo alam na mayroon palang school na ganon. Discover mo siya. And you are now interested na pumasok doon. But not right away. Kasi marami kang pinagpipili ang universities na papasukan mo. Example, 5 universities na interesado ka. Evaluation. Okay, pag na-evaluate mo na yan, siyempre, isang product ay pagbago lang. They are hesitant. Initially, they are hesitant to buy the product. Hindi sila bibili kaagad ng maramihan. Hindi pa subok eh. Okay? So, meron kang trial. Di ba? Pag may nagbenta sa'yo, pag binentahan ka, sabi niya, ma'am, ilan po ang bibili nyo? Ay, isa lang muna. Di ba? Isa lang muna bibiling ko. Susubukan ko lang kung effective. So, meron kang trial. Especially pag product ay a new product in the market. May trial ka munang gagawin. Now, if after your trial, you have proven na effective naman pala siya, next time around, you will now embrace, you will now adopt that product. Magiging sugi ka na ng product na yan. You are now adopting that brand. Okay? So, adoption na. Kasama sa adoption, bibili ka na. Okay? Maramihan, hindi na sa trial. Right? So, take note guys, ito ay possible or valid lang sa isang new products. Kasi merong awareness yan. Okay, so I hope that this slide, these 5 boxes, you should understand this one. You should take this into your mind na meron mo ng awareness among your customers bago sila bumili. Okay, so the takeaway here is if you are selling a new product, meron tayong 5 process before they adopt yung product na binibenta mo. So napakagastos niyan. Okay, that is very costly, no? Especially if your product is brand new, is a new player in the market, the introduction stage, katakot-takot advertising expense na gamitin mo dyan. Just to develop interest among your buyers, no? Pero pag kilalang-kilala yan, so wala na masyadong promotional campaign or advertising. That is the birth pain of a new product. You will undergo that process, no? Pag if you are selling a new product. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, we're still there. Okay, so we have 2 markets. So if you are a student of business, or if you are a businessman, you are selling 2 types of products, 2 types of market. You are serving 2 types of market. The consumer market is the first one. Ito yung pinaka-common, no? Ito yung madalas nating binibilhan. We are consumers. Okay? And some businessmen are selling in this market, the consumer market. Okay, so let's read this one. Ang consumer market daw, it pertains to buyers who purchase goods and services for consumption right away. Pag binili nila yan, they will not consume the product right away and not for resale. Kaya tinawag isang consumer. You buy, you consume right away. The problem is, hindi lahat ng consumers have the same taste, preferences, and buying habits. They have different characteristics kasi. Okay, that can differentiate. So if you have 10 persons here, you have 10 persons with different personality, different characteristic, different preferences, and different Okay, so parang nakatakot din na. Okay, example, no? You are in the grocery store and there are 10 brands of soap dun sa shelf, no? 10 brands. It means it caters a different personality, different preferences. Okay, kasi pag isa lang ang preference ng mga consumer, isang brand of soap lang pwede na. Okay, but if you look around in a grocery store, countless hundreds of products, no, of brands for a certain item. Sardinas nga lang, di ba? Tingnan natin, ilang brand sardinas nakikita nyo. What brand of sardines you like? I like Spanish style sardines. Medyo manghang, spicy, right? And some of you don't prefer spicy. Spicy yan, no? So different taste. You prefer one university from another university. You prefer one brand of choco, one brand of coffee, one brand of burger, diba? You like a grilled burger. You like diba? Anong tawag ng burger? May grilled burger, diba? May fried burger ba? Anyway, pag sa fries naman, di ba? May crispy. Pag sa chicken, ganun din, di ba? May spicy, may regular taste. So different preferences na in the consumer market. Okay, now pag mayroong consumer market, parang ayaw ko wala naman. Meron tayong business market. Ito naman, products here are being sold to other businesses not for consumption but for resale. Alright? Ito yung product na binibili nila, hindi nila gagamitin, hindi nila i-consume, but they're going to make another product out of this product. At tinawag sa business na. A product that is being sold para gamitin sa isang business. Right? Example, hamburger patty. Pag binili mo yan sa market at niluto mo sa bahay, consumer market. Pero pag yung hamburger patty na yan ay binili mo, marami kang binili, 100, gagamitin mo yan, magluluto ka ng hamburger tapos ibebenta mo, that is a business market. Okay? Another one, if you are buying a steel, no, bakal, bumili ka sa hardware, no, tapos ginamit mo siya pagpapatayo ng bahay mo sa consumer market. Pero pag yung bakal na yan ay binili mo, tapos gagawa ka ng condominium units, tapos ibibenta mga condo na yon, that is business market. Kasi ginamit sa business yung product na yan, not for immediate consumption. Used in creating another product. Ayan, no? So mga product na gagamitin mo to create another product. Tapos ibenta mo yung product na yan. tinawag sang na business. Okay, so I hope that you can think of examples of consumer market, diba? And also with business market. Okay? Pandesal, consumer market. Pero pag yung pandesal ay binili mo sa bakery, tapos nilagyan mo siya ng palaman, tapos ibebenta mo, so that is a business market. Okay, so I hope I know that you can understand that one. That is very easy, no? That is very self-explanatory. So I know that you know that one. Okay, so that is the business market and the consumer market. And let's see if we have some similarities between consumer and business. Okay, so mayroong common denominator. No? Mayroong common between the consumer market and the business market. Okay, basta if one product is being sold sa isang market na bibili nila for immediate consumption, consumer market. Pero pag yung product ay binibenta sa isang market, sa isang lugar, no? Tapos binibili ng mga tao, nagagamitin for in creating another product or to be used in their businesses. Business market yan. Now, but we have similarities between these two markets. The first one, understanding deep customer needs. Pareho. Okay? Consumer market and business market they are both catering to the needs of the customer. Parehong kailangan ng bibilihin no? Whether you are a consumer market, a business market, parehong kailangan nila yung binibenta mo. Whether it could be a bakal steel, burger patty, ban, choco, no? Chocolate, pwede rin yan, chocolate. We buy chocolate and you consume that right away, consumer market. Pero pag yung choco binili mo, tapos gawin mo isang topping sa cake na ginagawa mo sa bake shop na pag-aari mo, tapos bibenta later on, yung choco na ginawang toppings is now a business market. Okay? But the same thing, yung dalawang choco na yon, they are both answering the needs of the consumer. Parang mapupunta ko sa consumer yun, di ba? Ikaw bumili, customer ka. Yung choco ng bake shop kanina, bibenta sa customer. So parang customers ang gagamit nun. So both of them are catering to customer needs. Okay, so identify areas for growth. Okay, so parehong market. Okay, whether that is consumer and business market, pareho yang dapat nag-grow. There's no way but to go up. There's no way but to grow. So parang nag-grow ang isang consumer market and business market. Pag dumadami mga tao na nagbibili na customer, no? Pag dumarami ang customer, dumarami ang negosyante, yung dalawang markets are growing. So pareho sila, no? Parehong lumalago ang dalawang markets na yan. Okay, the third one, similarity between the two, improving value management technique. Okay, so parehong galing yan sa isang negosyante. Consumer market and business market, parehong may gumawa niyan. Kahit sino makikinabang yan, businessman or final consumer, may gumawa ng product na yan. Okay, now, pag lumalaw ng isang industry, example, industry ng chocolate, no? Kanina, dalawang market binibigyan. Example, ako yung negosyante. Ang market ko dalawa. Ang market ng aking choco ay dalawa. Isang pa yung pang final consumer at isang pang business mga customers ko. Para silang lumalago, dumadami customers ko, and later on, I should improve my technique para mapabilis, no? You you should not avoid changes. No? Dapat, example, technology, technique, example, production technique, paano cost-effective, cost-cutting, streamlined yung production technique mo, assembly line ng iyong factory. You should be learning those things. No? Dapat meron kang bagong natututunan, bagong technique, bagong gadget, bagong machines. Yun. So those are similar for both consumer and business markets. Excuse me. Calculating better marketing metrics. Okay, so same thing. Pag meron kang bagong management technique, same thing. Kahit anong market yan, dapat meron kang bagong marketing tactics. Paano masiserve ng mas maganda, paano promote ng mas maganda sa dalawang markets yung product na binibenta mo. Volume discount. Okay yan. Magandang promotion, magandang subsidy sa mga dealers mo or sa mga customers mo. Good discount, rebates, mga marketing techniques yun. Para mamalalim mga customers mo. Ang rebates or discount, pwede mo ibigay mo yan sa sa final consumer. Pwede rin ibigay sa isang dealer, no? Ang dealer kasi, dealers are your customers din. Kaya lang, hindi nila gagamitin yon, ibibenta pa nila yon, kaya tinawag silang dealers. So minsan mas malaking discount na binibigay mo sa mga dealers kasi marami silang umorder sa'yo. Okay, so para mas marami yung order nila sa'yo, you are giving them volume discount. Yung mga final consumers mo rin, may discount din sila, pero hindi kasing laki ng mga trade discount na binibigay sa mga dealers mo. Okay, both markets are growing, so you are now competing and growing in global market. Ibig sabihin, yung final consumers mo ay dumadami, hindi lang Pilipinas. Yung mga dealers mo dumadami din, hindi lang Pilipinas. Because of globalization, we are now crossing borders. Hindi ka lang sa Pilipinas nagbebenta ngayon. Ang bilis magbenta. You can buy something, you can sell something outside the country, outside your own country because of the internet. Kaya ran, no problem with the payment. Right? We have several platforms, payment platforms na pwede nating gamitin. Whether you are international client, international customers, no problem. Hindi na masyadong cash basis ngayon. We have the cash wallet na ginagamit natin or platform. Okay, countering product commoditization. Commodity. A product should not be considered just a commodity. Hindi lang siya paninda. Although sa mga consumers, at tingin sa binibenta yung paninda lang. But if you are the person selling them, your item, your product, your service should not only be a commodity. You treat your product, you treat your service as a solution sa mga kailangan or sa needs. Or you treat your products as need-satisfying item or problem-solver item or prestige. Example, nagbibenta ka ng sasakyan. Magandang brand ng sasakyan. That is not only commodity. Pag binenta mo yan, that is a status symbol. That is prestige. Ma'am, you buy my car. Bili mo tong product na to. Pag binili mo to, it means a status symbol for you. Pag nagbebenta ka ng cellphone, if you are selling cellphone should not only be a commodity. Cellphone should be an item, a gadget that can save memories. Cellphone should be a gadget for communication. Right? That is what you are selling. Memories, communication, movies. Hindi lang sa isang rectangular gadget. Not a commodity. Okay, gain support for the marketing concept. So we have marketing concept. You should not only be thinking as a selling concept. Pag selling kasi, guys, no? You're just selling an item. Tapos mukhang pera ka lang, no? May benta lang yung product na yan. Okay na siya. That is selling concept. Ang marketing concept, iba. Mas malawak ang marketing kesa selling. Ang marketing, it takes everything from the development of the product up to the after-sales service of your product. Ang marketing, hindi ka lang nagbebenta ng product. You ask your customers if what they need. At yung product na yun, yan ang iyong gagawin. Yan ang iyong bibenta. And that is marketing concept. Okay, so I think you have gained something from this slide, the similarities between consumer and business markets. Lipat tayo dito. Oh, so we are also comparing business based on some characteristic. Okay? First column, these are the identifiers, and second column, the business market. Anong sinasabi? How do we define business market when it comes to demand? Okay, characteristic. Demand. Okay? Pag sinabing demand, sino ang nagdi-demand? Sino may gusto ng product na binibenta ko? Pag business market yan, ang nagdi-demand ng product na binibenta mo ay isang organization, isang business na magbibenta rin, no, ng product na yan. Okay? Example, you are selling chicken. You are selling dressed chicken. Okay? Ano ang demand ng business market? Yung mga resto, yung mga karinderya, mga canteen, ang nangangailangan yan. So, those are businesses. Those are organizational, right? Pag consumer market yan, ang may demand ng product mo ay yung isang tao lang na may kailangan. It could be the mom who wants to cook a chicken dish for dinner. So, individual. Pagdating sa volume, maramihan, large ang in-order ng mga business market. Samantala sa consumer market ay maliit lang, small. Okay? O number of customers. Paramihan ng customers, pag business market yan, kunti lang. Kasi organizational eh. Kunti lang sila, pero marami silang order. Okay? Kahit isang resto yan, ang dami nilang umorder. Pagdating sa consumer market, marami ang customer ng product. Maraming individual, no, ang bumibili under the consumer market. Okay, let's go to the location. Pagdating sa location naman, ang mga business market, kunti lang sila, di ba? Concentrated sila. Nasa isang lugar lang. Example, mga resto, no? Concentrated. Nasa timog lahat ang resto. Pero mga consumer market, dispersed yan. Mga bibiling pangbahay, pang-family na item, example, chicken. No? Kalat-kalat yan. Hindi sila, kasi mga tao kalat-kalat, di ba? Pero mga organization, may isang lugar lang talaga sila. At tinawag sa concentrated. Okay, ang distribution, more direct distribution. Sabihin, from the factory to the dealers na business market, direkta. No? Samantala sa consumer market, ang daming pagdadaanan. From the factory to the consumer market, ang daming pinagdadaanan ng factory, wholesaler, distributor, retailer, sari-sari store, hanggang mapunta dun sa mga bumibili. So, hindi sa direkta. Pero pag yan ay business market, yung mga malaking company, pwede siyang dumirekta sa factory. Tinawag siyang more direct ang distribution. Okay, nature of buying, more professional, kasi nga mga negosyante, businessmen are buying products from the factory more professionally. Samantalang pag consumer market, personal. Business-wise, no? Business to business, kaya professional sa business market. Pero pag sa consumer market, more personal. Okay, by influence, multiple. Pag sa consumer market, single, sino ang nag-influence? Okay? Or paano kayo na-influence sa mga business market na yan? Multiple, marami. Okay? Sa negotiation naman, more complex, kasi maraming discount na binibigay sa mga business market, di ba? Sa negotiation, medyo complex. Mas remote kasi maramihan eh. Example, pag-usapan ng discount kasi maramihan ng bilihan, so may discount. Malaking discount din. Pag magdadagdag sila ng order, so magdadagdag din ng discount. So another negotiation. So complicated sa business market. Samantalang sa consumer market, napaka-simple. Punta ka ng tindahan, bilang sardinas, yun na yun. Very simple. Pero pag maramihan, nagagawin sa negosyo mo, hindi ka mapayag na walang discount. Kaya mayroong negotiation. More complex sa business market. Reciprocity, yung pagbalik, meron bang mutual? Oh yes, di ba? May kapalit eh. No? Example, bigyan mo ng discount, sabi ng business market. Bigyan mo ng discount na malaki. Tapos pag ikaw bumili sa akin, meron din discount ang bibigay sa'yo. Sa palitan, right? Samantalang sa mga family, di ba, pag bumili ka sa tindahan ng sardinas, no, for consumption, wala may pangako sa kanila, di ba? Kasi ikaw lang bibili, wala silang mapapala sa'yo. Pero pag yan business to business, pwede silang magpalitan ng discount. Pwede silang magpalitan ng pabor. Kaya mayroong reciprocity. Pag business market. Okay, sa leasing. O pag sinabing leasing, pwedeng yung financing, you know. Pag yan ay mga pang-business, so sabi natin kanina na may negotiation. Pwede kang makiusap na wag mo nang bayaran yung product. Mayan kasi maramihan naman eh, di ba? Installment. Okay, so may leasing, may agreement na may installment pag business market kasi marami ka nalang bibilihin. Pero pag consumer market, wala masyado kasi kunti lang bibilin nila, so walang masyadong financing or installment, walang masyadong leasing na mangyayari pag consumer market kasi nga, kunti lang in-order mo. Okay, now, sa promotion naman, personal selling. Okay, no? Pag yung customer mo isang malaking business, ang gagawin mo, pupunta mo sa direkta. Sabi mo, di ba, itong company to, maraming order rin sa atin to. 100 boxes, no? So, puntahan natin to personally para ma-promote natin yung product sa kanila. Sayang to pag pinakawalan natin to. No? So, personal kung pupuntahan yung isang businessman na bibili sa'yo, right? Pero pag yan ay isang consumer market lang, bibilin kunti lang naman, 1 peraso, 5 peraso lang. No? You don't take the time to go there para magbenta personal, para mag-promote personally. You just rely on advertising. Anyway, kunti lang ang order ng mga yan. Advertising na lang. Alright? Okay, so those are the similarities between the business market and the consumer markets depending on identifiers na sa first column. Okay, so I hope that you have learned something from this slide. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Psychology marketing. Magandang gamitin sa negosyo. Asahin natin. Psychology marketing, that is incorporating a range of psychological principles into your content, marketing, and sales strategy. So, pinapasukan na natin ng psychology yung ginagawa nating marketing. We should know how the patterns of humans' mind or human psychology, Dapat nating maintindihan yung mind, yung thinking, yung iniisip ng mga tao. Okay? So that we know how the psychology, how this thinking are related to their purchase decisions. Yung mind ba nila, yung kanilang psychology, meron siyang role, no, sa purchase decision ng isang tao, ng isang buyer. That's why psychology marketing is very important na gamitin natin sa business, sa negosyo. Okay? The first thing about psychology marketing, ito, no, may tinatawag tayong the link between marketing and psychology is evident. Gamitin natin psychology sa marketing. Okay? Magagamit natin yan. May connection yung psychology sa marketing. We should understand the people. We should know, we should read the people like a book para malaman natin na yung kanilang purchase decision. Understand their behavior, kanilang motivation, bakit sila bumibili. Okay? Hindi sila, ang consumers kasi daw, no? Hindi sila basta-basta bumibili lang. They are not living in a vacuum. Pag sinabing vacuum, hindi lang sila mag-isa sa isang society, sa isang situation. Therefore, consumers are being affected ng mga nakapalibot sa kanila. Nung kanila nakikita, yung kanilang perception sa isang item, kaya napapabili sila or hindi sila napapabili. Ibig sabihin, may mga stimulus na nagtitrigger na tumutulak sa mga tao para bumili. Okay? May kasama. That is the real thing. And we should understand this one. The psychology of marketing. The first one is the halo effect. Okay, alam niyo ba ang halo, no? Di ba ang halo, saan natin nakikita ang halo? We can see halo, saan ba? Doon sa taas ng ulo, no? Parang nakapatong sa mga santo, sa mga holy person, mga banal na tao, no? Halo, parang bilog siya. Na nakikita na sa mga santo. Sa marketing, meron din tinatawag na halo effect that we should, if we can understand this one, pwede natin sa magamit sa ating mga marketing strategy. Okay, so let's take this one. Ano ibig sabihin ng halo effect sa marketing? Parang pag narinig yung halo, parang ang buti-buti na isang tao, diba? In marketing, let's have this one. When consumers have positive experience with products of highly visible brands, they cognitively form a brand loyalty, bias in favor of the brand and its offerings. This belief is independent of a consumer's experience. The reasoning is that if a company is exceptionally good at one thing, they will undoubtedly be good at something else. This assumption will take your brand far, parlaying into other new products. Halo effect. That's an example, no? Maganda example yan. Okay? Isang negosyante nagbebenta ng sabon. Ayan. Yung sabon napakaganda, no? Mabango, very soft, matagal matunaw, a very, very famous brand, ang gustong-gusto ng mga tao yan. Ang ganda ng performance ng sabon na yon na binibenta ni Mr. X. Okay? Halos lahat, 80% of the market sa kanyang bibili. Kasi napaka-outstanding ng sabon na kanyang binibenta. Sabong panligoy ng bath soap. Okay? So, ang laki ng kanyang profit dyan. Walang reklamo mga tao doon sa sabon na yun. Okay? Then later on, naisip ni Mr. X na magbenta ng isa pang product. Shampoo naman. Okay? Now, pagbenta ng shampoo, automatic, yung mga tao ay bibilhin yung product na yun Because they believe that kung si Mr. X ang napagbenta ng isang magandang sabon, automatic makapagbenta rin siya ng isang magandang shampoo. Yung tinatawag ng loyalty bias. Hindi mo pala susubukan yung shampoo na binibenta niya, pero because of meron na kasing nauna no? May naunang products na binibenta, and based on that good experience sa sabon na binibenta ng Mr. X, you are now concluding na pareho din ang magiging experience mo dito sa shampoo na kanyang binibenta, even if hindi mo pa siya na susubukan. Parang nadama yung shampoo dun sa magandang performance nung sabon. Yan tinatawag loyalty bias. Wala pang experience, di mo pang experience yan, but you conclude right away. That's the halo effect. Kumbaga, yung naunang product ay napakaganda. Automatic itong product na itong susunod, ganoon din, maganda rin ito. Okay? That is psychology. Hindi mo pa susubukan shampoo, right? Hindi mo susubukan shampoo. Pero, dadamay na sa halo effect ng naunang product, which is yung bath soap. So guys, take advantage of that one, no? If you are the marketer, you can take advantage of that one, the halo effect. Okay. So let's go to the next one, the information gap theory. Okay, ito magandang ano yun, no? May mga gap. Sa marketing kasi mayroong gap na. May hinahanap ka. And if one businessman or if one seller can fill the gap, you will take advantage of that. Okay? So, ang gap info theory, the information gap theory, how can you use the information gap theory in marketing? Now, mga marketers na ginagamit yung information gap theory in content and social media marketing now. No? For example, may mga ginagamit silang headlines tulad ng how to do something, the secret to XYZ, or what you must know about. Ibig sabihin, parang meron kang gap, parang hindi ka pa kompleto. Pag hindi pa kompleto, isang marketer ang mag-fill ng gap na yan. Example ito, no? The secret to XYZ. Pag narinig mo yan, parang meron hindi ka pa alam. Because of the word secret. Pag narinig mo yung what you must know about, parang pag narinig mo ito, parang meron pa akong gustong malaman. Parang meron pa akong dapat malaman. In those three statements, those brings excitement and curiosity that you want to learn more about something or about a certain topic. May gusto pang malaman, may gap pa, no? May gap pa sa iyong info, may gap pa sa iyong knowledge about something, about a product. That should be filled out. Okay? Ang tinatake advantage sa marketer. The secret, diba? Ang sikreto ng isang malasutlang kutis. Ang sikreto ng isang malakoreanang mukha. Ng isang malaporsilanang mukha, di ba? O siyempre gusto magkaroon ng gano'n, gusto malaman sikreto, right? O so they will take that marketing strategy. At tinawag sa information gap theory. O pwedeng gamitin yan, guys, no? Now, the next psychology marketing technique, the odd or psychological pricing. Ito naman, about price naman to, yung presyo. So, pricing designed to have a positive psychological impact. Example. Selling your product at 3.95 or 3.99. Bakit 3.99? Bakit 3.95? Di mo pwedeng piso? Di mo pwedeng 4? Diba? $4 or 4 pesos compared to 3.95. 5 cents lang diferensya. So bakit tayo mo sigbenta ng 4? Bakit 3.95? Diba? At tinatawag nating psychology marketing. people are much willing to buy the 3.95 price, no, instead of the $4 price. Kasi nga, people tends to look at the yung pinaka nasa leftmost digit or pinakaunang digit, no? Yan ang pinakaunang titignan ng tao. 3 versus 4. Hindi yung buong 395 ba? Yung 3 lang and 4 ang kanilang kino-compare. Pag kino-compare mo yung 3 and 4, ang diferensya niyan piso. 3 versus 4, piso ang diferensya. But actually, ang difference in price is only 5 cents. 3.95 eh. Kasi nga, unang tingin mabilisan, ang unang mo nakikitang digit ay yung pinakauna, 3 instead of 4. Right? Now, if the price of a product is $100 and the company price it as $99, that is psychological pricing. Okay? Ang diferensya piso lang. Right? But you are willing to sell your product at $99 instead of $100. Gamitin nyo guys yung $99 instead of $100. May magtatanong sa inyo, Sir, bakit sayang yung piso? Diba? Kasi nga, siyempre, 99 is lesser than 100. Okay? So, mas maraming bibili sa'yo, kaya mo ng piso. Mas maraming bibili sa'yo pag 99 ang price mo instead of 100. Power in numbers. Pag 100, may bibili sa'yo. Lamang ka ng piso compared to 99. Pero ilan bibili? Baka 5 lang. Right? Pero pag ginipreneso mo ng 99 instead of 100, baka hindi lang 5. Baka 50 po bumili sa'yo. Diba? So 99, o diba? Mas marami yung bibili sa 99. So, sabi ko kanina, power in numbers. That is psychological pricing. So I hope that you learned something from this lesson about psychological marketing, about business market, about consumer market. And I hope that you are going to apply this one to your businesses later on. And see you again guys for our next lesson. This has been Dr. Cortez signing off. Enjoy your day and see you around guys. Thank you.